Welcome back to Organic Hillbilly with this weekend's next project. I'm going to try to convert this Caterpillar RP 7500 series to a natural gas LP because gas prices are getting outrageous, and the last time I had a power outage it was for over 5 days and it cost me a lot of money in regular gas. So stay tuned and we will get started. Okay, now that we're all set up, we're going to take a look at the parts that come in the kit real quick. You do have to go online and print out your instructions for this, but there's not a lot of parts here. It's pretty basic stuff, and you know, it really, the instructions just help you to make sure you put things on right. So in the box, you've got a venturi adapter. That's this black thing. The thing that you got to pay attention to is that, okay, what you have to pay attention to with the venturi adapter that goes in between your airbox and your carburetor, there's a little directional arrow that says this side to carburetor. It's a little bit bigger opening, so it's kind of hard to screw it up, but supposedly this one's made for my engine and carburetor, so once I get to that point, hopefully it fits right on. But the rest of these pieces are pretty self-explanatory. I didn't need the high pressure. I was able to remove the low pressure adapter. In my case, I will be able to run just with the stuff that you see here. So we'll check back in a little bit. The first thing that's got to come off is the air box. So we're going to look into that now. Okay, so I'm doing this for the first time. I haven't taken it apart yet, so I'm just going to show you how it goes. Taking the screw off the air box cover, dropping the air cleaner out. Looks like I need to clean that. And we're going to look inside of here for a couple things. One, checking for varnish, which I just found a little bit, so that's not a good sign. So I may even be cleaning a carburetor today too. There should be a couple of bolts in here. Most likely they're behind this plate. Yep, there's one, and then if I'm not mistaken, the other one is on the back side. So let's see what that looks like. Yep, right here. There's the second bolt. So we're gonna take those off. We're gonna take off the vent hose, and hopefully that'll be it. I think this will come right off. Well, since I'm too lazy to walk upstairs and get the camera holder, I'm just gonna try to do this. Doesn't look too hard. Of course. So there's my first problem. Can't get a good angle, so I'm gonna have to probably just get a regular swivel adapter and put it on here. Okay, I found my swivel. As luck would have it, it was in my toolbox, broke. So I found a nail that about the same size. This should be a roll pin, but I don't know, I don't feel like looking for one. So I'm just going to use this. It shouldn't take me too long. I could actually probably break it loose like this. These things aren't put on there very tight, but I'm still going to go ahead and use the tool to do it. So I can show you. Give me 1 second and I will get it hooked up. Alright. This is pretty rigged up here. Let's see how it does. Okay. Broke it loose. So now I think I'm going to go over to my grinder and I'm just going to grind this off and flatten it out so it's like a new pin, and then I can finish the job. Okay, I've got the improvised system ready. Comes the nut. I'll show you Little pin that I had to make real quick. Better than nothing. Okay, I found one more bolt holding this air box on, and it's right back here. This one's a little tougher to get to, but it looks like there's an angle bracket that's mounted to the base of the motor. So I'm just going to pull that one bolt out and see how this air box comes out. But I'm liking what I see so far because, see, I've got to move this air box in this direction to get the venturi adapter on. And it looks like I've got all kinds of room. I shouldn't have to modify my frame, which makes me really, really happy. Okay, the air box came off really easy, but I noticed something I didn't like. I don't like the smell of this varnish that I found built up inside the air box. It started to smell a little old. I haven't had to drop the bowl on this generator yet. It's about 8 years old, and it's probably due to have the bowl cleaned and service the needle and jet, get everything cleaned, so when I need it, it'll run. So while I'm already got it this far pulling apart, I'm just going to go ahead and drop this bowl and clean it out, and we'll get back into putting the venturi on. This really isn't part of the adapter series, so I'm only going to show you this part. If none of you guys have ever dropped the carburetor bowl, it's pretty easy. You just take this bottom bolt out right here, and that whole bowl assembly falls out. And basically, you clean it out. Use a rag with some solvent, and check your float. Make sure your float needle is not stuck. Make sure the float's moving freely. And then right in the very center, there's a stem. That's where your jet is. You should be able to just take a small screwdriver and pull the jet out and blow it out with some compressed air, and it'll be good to go. And this is a common cause of failure on most of these engines, just because we use ethanol gas. So if you're ever to jam, that's a quick pro tip, and get yourself back up and running pretty fast. So I'll get back to you in a few minutes while I service this carburetor. Then we'll put the venturi on. We'll get the diaphragm all set up to go. And then we'll start the generator on regular gas today. After that, just because unfortunately I don't have my gas from my house ran yet, and I won't be able to test it finally until then. But I'm sure it'll work. I just want to get the main part of it done. So I'll be back with you soon to show you how that venturi goes in, and we go from there. Okay, I've got the bolt from the carburetor loose. Got a little glass jar to try to hopefully catch any fuel. I do have an open flame in here, so I don't want to get too much vapor going. I'm just going to real simply just take this bowl off, show you. It doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of crap down in there. I always give it a quick sniff. Okay, that fuel's still good. It's getting weak though. This thing needs to be ran. But other than that, I think this will be just fine. I'm just gonna dump a little bit of fuel off in there. I'm gonna wipe this bowl out. I'm checking. There's the float. Okay, so there's the float needle right there. In case you're wondering how these things work, as the fuel comes in, it fills up this bowl, and once this bowl floats, or once this float floats to the top, it drops the needle down, which stops the flow of fuel from the gas tank. So as your engine is running, this thing's moving and letting fuel into the bowl to power your engine at all times. So I've seen these things do everything from stick on, so basically where they just sit there and just keep flowing, where they're stuck in the closed position, and they're not. They're just letting gas wide open into the bowl. And what you'll see in a lot of these, there's a little over, not on this one, but on a lot of these there's a little overfill, and you'll see when you see gas start coming out of the bottom of the bowl, that's a sign that your float is stuck. The other condition that they can end up in is when the float is actually stuck in the up position, not letting any gas get into the engine. And lastly, I'll try to show you this one the best as I can. When you look up here, you see that? That is your jet. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a small screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, you're going to put it up into the middle of the carburetor, and you're going to pull that jet out. And then you're just going to blow it out with some compressed air, get all the gunk out of it, and that'll get your engine back up and running fast. Okay, these little sleeves pop out pretty easy. I just use some needle nose, just give them a little push, and they pop right out. And we're gonna get the first. I should have went and got my stand, because I'm not gonna be able to do this one-handed. But we're gonna put this back on. Make sure the venturi's in the right direction. So, show the gasket straight. Okay. I'm going to put the air box up here. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to hold it up there because I'm not going to be able to do this two-handed. So, basically, that's the way it goes. And now I'm going to take this other screw or nut and try and get it put in. I'll see if I can leave the camera on. It's going to be fun though. Might just work. Yeah, that one's on. Okay, let's get the other one. That one's going to require an Allen wrench, so I got to run and get one of those. But it looks like it'll thread right on. So good to go. Get that put on, then we'll start working on the rest of it. Well, turns out I needed to put this fitting on my Venturi adapter, and this is just it's like a 3D printed part, to be honest with you. And I tightened it up a little too much. I'm kind of a gorilla when it comes to tightening pipes, and yep, she broke. So I'm gonna have to call and see if I can get another one. For now, I'm just gonna JB weld it until it gets here, because I need to have this generator in case a power outage happens. And yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, the next step is to install this Venturi right here. Looks like it fits, but my studs are too short. So I'm going to look in the kit, see if they provided me with some longer studs. Hopefully they did. Okay, well, they didn't give me longer studs, but what they did do is give me some instructions to take these inserts out of the air box. So there's two of them. And reinsert these new, they're kind of like a nut, but they have a little length to them. So I think, with any luck, this will kind of pass. I'll try to show you here. This will pass through the air cleaner box, and then through the hole, which I don't think that these are going to be long enough. I'm going to probably have to go buy some longer ones. Okay, these little sleeves pop out pretty easy. I just use some needle nose, just give them a little push, and they pop right out. Yeah, we're gonna get the first. I should have went and got my stand, because I'm not gonna be able to do this one-handed. But we're gonna put this back on. Make sure the venturi's in the right direction. So, show the gasket straight. Okay. I'm going to put the air box up here. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to hold it up there because I'm not going to be able to do this two-handed. So, basically, that's the way it goes. And now I'm going to take this other screw or nut and try and get it put in. I'll see if I can leave the camera on. It's going to be fun though. Might just work. Yeah, that one's on. Okay, let's get the other one. That one's going to require an Allen wrench, so I got to run and get one of those. but it looks like it'll thread right on. So good to go. Get that put on, then we'll start working on the rest of it. Well, turns out I needed to put this fitting on my Venturi adapter, and this is just it's like a 3D printed part, to be honest with you. And I tightened it up a little too much. I'm kind of a girl when it comes to tightening pipes, and yep, she broke, so I'm gonna have to call and see if I can get another one. For now, I'm just gonna JB weld it until it gets here, because I need to have this generator in case a power outage happens. And yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, good old JB Weld to the rescue. Who's never done this before? Should be alright. I mean, shoot, it's just a doggone 3D printed part. Still going to call the manufacturer though and see if I can get a new one. But yeah, we'll have to make this work for now and see how it does and check it for leaks and all that good stuff. And well, you never know. Maybe it'll just work forever. All right, installing the airbox. Get the first one started. There we go. Now we can get the second ones here. Probably just going to get it set in there, and I'm going to use my Allen wrench to get it the rest of the way. I've had my luck with strip screws and nuts lately. This is going on number 3 with the kind of the lug nut on my old truck. I'm going to snug this one up pretty good because I think it's, at least with the Allen wrench, it should be tight. Take this other side down. I'm always curious to see how good these 3D printed parts work, because I don't know, I've got my reservations on them. Yeah, there's quite an eddy there. Let's see if there's one at the top. Yeah, there's an eddy at the top too. This thing's gonna run weird, but maybe it's okay with natural gas. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna be running regular gas through this thing too, so I'm supposed to be able to do both. Alright, so that's it. That's back on. I'm going to go ahead and connect my vent hoses back up to my air box, my fuel line. And then I will install the last part of it, which is the regulator. Doesn't look like that's going to be too bad. Comes with some little mounts. Those just screw around the tube here. And then there's a little bit of hose you can use to run your hose for your carburetor to the top of your regulator here. I'll go ahead and put that in. There's a little stop block and they use a screw, which is weird, but I guess this is how you control the regulation, the final lean and all that good stuff. We'll see how that works too. But yeah, that's what the instructions give me. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, well, the jury is put in, the airbox is all put back together. I put the mounting clamps for the regulator on the pole. They're not the right size, but I got them to work. I just got to tighten them up. And that's about it. So now I got to mount the regulator. And it says you can mount this any way you want except for flat. So this is the way I'm going to do it. I don't have a lot of clearance, but I can turn that fitting a little bit so it clears the tires. So once I connect the hose up to the bottom of the Venturi, it'll be fine. But I did go ahead and assemble the stop block at the top. So this is the governor system. Basically, this jam nut locks it down once you get it to the right position. When you're using regular gas, you want to close it all the way down and then close this off, and then you can use your regular fuel. Then when you want to switch to natural gas or propane, you'll screw this back out to a predetermined position, lock it down, and run off that. The only thing I don't have is this 3/4 inch NPT fitting that'll end up going to the house eventually, but that's okay. I don't have the piping done for that yet, so I'm just going to take it to this point, get it all connected back up, make sure it fires up on gas, and then the next project will be getting the natural gas line run. That probably won't be for a week or two. So after further review, I did not like where that bottom bracket was fitting. It was pushing my airbox way out. I wouldn't be able to get the cover off my airbox if I ever had to service the carburetor in a hurry. And I just decided that it just wasn't a good place because there's this little primer button behind here, and that was hitting on this pole. So whoever designed that was not thinking. So the only adaptation I had to make was this little bracket right here. And probably eventually I'll buy an L bracket that fits it a little better, but this is holding really tight actually right now. I just had to use a sheet metal screw to hold it in place, but it's on there. It ain't going anywhere. So anyway, sometimes, yeah, you do have to make a little adaptations to things to get them to work right, but I like the way that sits better anyway. It's not on its side because there's these little holes down here at the bottom that you know, if it's raining, I don't want that rain getting in there. I don't know what those holes are for, but it says to leave them open. So even though it says you can mount this in any orientation, they're not thinking that this thing's going to be outside in the rain and the weather and stuff. So that's most likely when you're going to be needing it is in the middle of a storm. So anyway, yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm going to hook the hoses up, and I'm going to go out and test fire it here in a second. All right, well, that was a lot of fun. Now it's time to see if the generator fires back up. That's what it looks like with the hose in place. Oh, great. It's real tight in behind that airbox too, but it fits. Well, it started right up. I'm probably going to let this run for a while. I just want to make sure I get some of this old gas out of it. It's good to go. Alright guys, the gas generator is converted. See, we got the hose going up to the house, the shut off at the house. The last thing I'm going to say today is I just want to give a shout out to the Nashfuel company that supplies these tri-fuel conversion kits for gas generators. It's a great product. It's a great idea. Now you can run your generator on gas, propane, or natural gas, which is great because you never know what you're going to need it for, and it's great to have the portability. The other thing I'll say is they have some excellent customer service. They answered all the questions that I had, and when I broke the venturi over tightening the hose adapter, they sent me a brand new one free of charge. I just let them know, and they said, "Yeah, you don't want to over tighten those." So shout out to those guys, and hey, just remember to check out the links in the description where you can get these great products, and please buy from those links if you can, because that's what helps me to put these videos together for you. If you liked what you saw today, like and subscribe, and definitely pick yourself up one of those kits today. Thanks, and have a great one. Organic Hillbilly out.